point there that hasn't quite come out actually, because you're right. And I do wonder why that is, why the endurance, why taking yourself to a level that you wouldn't normally get to and possibly beyond. In fact, my son was talking about a Japanese sort of philosophy or culture of trying to do something at least once in your life that takes you way, 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 way beyond your own boundaries, if you like.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like to look into that further one day, because there's something in that. What is it doing actually? Is it breaking you down a bit emotionally? Is it taking something away from you that you want taken away? Is it giving you something as well? I mean, for me, it's all negative actually, not in a negative way. It's all take, and I think that's great, because it takes away the, may I say, shit from life and the things that have got you into a mess, or the bad boss. And literally, when I got to the end of the 7 hours in that water, I had nothing more to give for about an hour.
7 hours, that's good going. Wow.
Well, yeah, it was. I'm not a fast swimmer, but I was pleased to get there. But 7 hours, I was empty of everything. You know, for a few hours, I had nothing more inside me of anything, which I felt was a really positive thing. The negativity was positive, and I haven't quite got my head on what that really actually means. But one day we'll find out, I'm sure. But yeah, why don't you kick off and just tell us a bit about yourself, in terms of who you are, and also in terms of why swim.
I was born in Zambia in the 60s, where women didn't work and men went to work, and we had this massive Olympic-sized public swimming pool, where all the mums went to in the afternoon, and I was thrown in, and that was it. So we swam from day one. And so I've always swam. I was a scuba diving instructor for a good part of 20 years. I was also a free diving instructor, so I really loved the ocean. And then when I moved to Dubai in 2005, I always swam in the sea, and then I met somebody, a girlfriend, who I taught to free dive, and she said, "Oh, you should come to a triathlon, it would be fun." And I had no idea what that meant or entailed or whatever. So I did some training and did my first triathlon. I thought, oh, this is kind of fun. And then Dubai sort of really started getting involved with events, and then started doing open water swimming events. And then they did the first Ocean Man event in Dubai a few years ago. And then I became a tri coach as well in 2012. And then with this whole Ocean Man thing, they said, oh, we're doing Ocean Man coaching courses now. So I just think, well, the more you learn, the more you learn. And so I started doing group C swims in Dubai, and I had a big ladies team, all of a particular age. And that's basically how it all started. And then we bought this house here, and I knew my coach was an ultra swimmer. And I don't even know how I found this. Yes, a guy that I knew said, "Oh, I know where you live. I did this river swim there once." So I thought, oh, that sounds kind of cool to do a river swim right past the house and whatever. So that's how I got to know about UltraEbre, and thought, stuff it, I'm going to sign up.
Can you tell us a bit about, so when you're looking at something like the UltraEbre, what are your tips for the people reading this, for the training, nutrition, how to stay motivated? I mean, a lot of it's mind over everything else, but what are your key insights into what people should think about for themselves when they're taking on a 30K challenge like this?
Okay, so I think we will, as a coach, I would work backwards. So what I would say to anyone, and a couple of the guys have asked me, say next July you've got to swim 30K, about 3 or 4 weeks prior to, you've got to set up for yourself, I'm going to swim 30 kilometers in the next 6 days. So however you want to break that up. So your body feels what it's like to do all that volume. And then prior to that, you need to plan on swimming between 12 and 18 kilometers a week on a cycle. Because as you know, then your shoulders really start to take the strain.
Yeah.
So as older athletes, we need to look at how you cycle that. So you need to have a week where you do proper recovery. So you need to peg it right down to maybe a 10K swim, 3 5K swims, or 6 2.5K swim, and then you build. Then the next week you do a bit more, and then the following week you do a high volume, and then you go back to doing a very low volume week. So you've got to do that boom and bust cycle. And then from a nutrition perspective, I've got to say, my coach was really helpful. She gave me a plan that her nutrition coach in Australia, I mean, she went the whole shebang. So she gave me her nutrition coach suggestions on how to plan your nutrition. I went to Decathlon. No, I went on Amazon and bought a lot of those squishy bottles, and I numbered them, and I did a list for my kayaker, and I said, right, from 1 to 15, or how many bottles, and this is every hour you're going to give me the next one, the next one, the next one on the list. And I did a combination. I also had boiled potatoes. I had tortilla de patata, because I can't do the whole thing on solids. I know some of the guys do it all on gels. I would be polluting the river if that was me. And then I did, which was the best thing ever, the best advice she gave me. She says, have a nice thermos flask full of hot tea and honey, and have that every hour just to keep you warm, and also just something nice on your mouth that's not a gel or not a boiled potato or whatever. So that was actually quite nice. And I had a couple of gels towards the end just to try and boost the sugar, because that's when you really start getting depleted. And so in your training, you've got to try and incorporate this so you look like the right person. You've got all these things on the side of the pool, and you kind of look super serious, and people come up to you and they say, what are you training for? And you tell them, and it all sounds very impressive, but it's impressive, but it isn't, because at the end of the day, I'm just another swimmer at the pool training for something. There's full of Ironmans and sprint distances. It doesn't matter the distance. For me, the important thing is showing up every week. Where you draw your motivation from. Why are you doing it? And that's the big question. I actually wrote about this the other day, so for me, I do ask. Because it's something that I talk to my athletes a lot about. Is your reason, why are you signing up for an Ironman? Why are you signing up for UltraEbre? Why are you signing up for your first triathlon? What is the reason? What's driving you to do this? Are you doing it because you've got a friend dying of cancer and you want to do something because she can't? Are you doing it because you feel that you need to lose weight, or you need to improve yourself? So I think motivation can either come from something external that's driving you. It could be your team, and you think, geez, well, everyone's doing all these races, so actually I'm going to sign up for one as well, and then I remain part of the enclave. Or something really personal inside could be driving you. And my experience of working with long distance athletes over the years is that many athletes have got some deep-rooted, not issue, but something deep-rooted. And so endurance training is a very good outlet for a lot of those people, including myself. It's a very good way of releasing frustration. I mean, you could have a shitty boss for years, so getting out on your bike for long hours or getting in the pool for 4 or 5 kilometers is a really good way of putting the world to rights when it's just you.